There are games you play for fun, and then there are games you play just to brag on Reddit. And while there's a lot of controversy around the difficulty of some games, there is no denying they amassed a great following over the years. Today at ZeroDeaths.com, we're taking a look at some of the most difficult games ever made. A side note here, we decided not to get too much into old arcade games, since their whole point was to get you to spend more coins every time you died. With that being said, let's start with number 10, Getting Over It. We start off the list with an easy one. There are few things more enjoyable than watching people rage over this game. Although Getting Over It is technically a simple game, the awkward controls and the punishment you get from messing up make for a great and daunting experience. Number 9, Darkest Dungeon. Keeping this interesting, Darkest Dungeon offers a whole new angle of difficulty. While in most difficult games you need a mix of reflexes and coordination, in the Darkest Dungeon, it's all about planning and decision-making. There are a lot of things to consider, including your characters literally getting scared to death. Number 8, Enter the Gungeon. If you're looking for a retro dungeon crawler with modern gameplay and an insane difficulty, this is the game for you. It's very easy to make difficulty feel cheap when you add an insane number of things that can kill you and very little things you can do about it. Luckily, Enter the Gungeon has enough mechanics for you to master and get better. Number 7, CUPHEAD. When CUPHEAD was announced, everyone was blown away by the art direction. When CUPHEAD was released, everyone was blown away by how difficult this game is. Especially for that one reporter who couldn't figure out how to dash. By the way, that story was taken out of context big time. You should search for the full version. Number 6, Super Meat Boy. In the words of the devs, Super Meat Boy feels great because there is a marriage of level design and controls. The game is high-paced and requires extreme precision to complete. They also added a mode called Dark World, where levels become even more challenging, which is always nice to have. Number 5, Nioh. Many tried to copy the Dark Souls formula, but it seems like Nioh was the only title that managed to keep the familiar difficulty and also be its own game. With Nioh 2 just being released, it will be interesting to see how well it will manage to continue the legacy. Number 4, Dark Souls. You can't make a list like this without mentioning Dark Souls. The franchise made its own genre, and nowadays every hard game that comes out is the Dark Souls of something. Number 3, Spelunky. This treasure of a game has a mix of pre-written and auto-generated maps. This means that you can't just learn the level and where the enemies are. You need to actually get good. Number 2, Ninja Gaiden. This is one of those games where you need to battle enemies as well as camera control. The lack of target lock only adds to the frustration. Number 1, Battletoads. The first place goes to Battletoads, a game so hard that the devs decided to tone down the difficulty of future releases just to make it playable. Bonus, Superman 64. This game gets a bonus mention, but for a very different reason. While the core gameplay wasn't that complex, the code for the game was a historic mess. The controls were so poorly written, you needed to be Superman to play it. And that's it from us. Stay inside and stay safe, everyone.